One of the things we try to do with our viewers, which you've done here in the White House, is engage our viewers on Facebook and Twitter and social media. So one of the things we talked about when we said we were coming to talk to you today, we asked for questions. And it seemed that overwhelmingly the question that people had for you is the status of Social Security in general. And I know that you don't address that in this budget. For people like me, will there be a Social Security like we're accustomed to now? And can you keep it sustained without having some sort of drop in benefits or raising the age?
Well, look, this is a great question. I think it's important for people to understand the current situation. Social Security is actually in reasonably good shape. Our big problem on entitlements is actually Medicare and Medicaid, because healthcare costs are going up so fast at the same time the population is aging. And so we've got a potential crisis that could consume the entire budget if we don't fix it. Social Security we can fix relatively easily. The big problem right now is that if we don't do anything, then Social Security won't go bankrupt, but it means young people your age, by the time you're eligible, you'll get 75 cents on the dollar of what you expected to get back from Social Security. So what do we need to do to fix that? I think there are a number of ideas that are on the table. Basically, it's going to involve probably a little more revenue at the same time as there may be some adjustments on the benefit side for future beneficiaries that aren't drastic, but would stabilize the system for the long term. The key is, though, there's no reason that we shouldn't be able to fix Social Security relatively easily so that we're securing benefits for current generations as well as future generations, and the basic structure of Social Security does not change.
Okay. One of the big issues in Richmond right now, there's a debate raging over a conservative group that went into Planned Parenthood with video cameras and taped what appeared to be Planned Parenthood workers turning a blind eye to sex trafficking. Republicans here in Washington have now turned this into a call for you and for other leaders in Washington to strip Planned Parenthood's funding from the federal government. Do you think this video should be a reason to look at Planned Parenthood's funding? Do you think it's a setup? How would you react to it?
Well, you know, I will tell you, the vast majority of people right now, what they're thinking about are jobs, the economy. I think that sometimes these issues get manufactured and they get a lot of attention on the blogosphere. But what folks that I talk to at least are asking is, how's the economy going to be doing? Are jobs going to be created? Are businesses going to be located here in the United States? So, you know, my bottom line is that I think that Planned Parenthood in the past has done good work. If there was a specific problem at this center, it should be addressed. But we shouldn't get so distracted with some of these issues that we ignore what's really going to determine how well our kids do in the future. Are we educating properly? Are we investing in research and development and science and technology to keep our cutting edge? Are we dealing with our budget in a serious way and reducing spending? If we do those things, then some of these other issues are going to be addressed at the local level, but I'm pretty confident that we can address them.
Obviously, our local Congressman Eric Cantor is one of your biggest critics. He's already said that you failed to lead in this version of the budget. You at one point said, someday Eric Cantor is going to say, boy, Obama had a good idea. Has that happened yet? And how would you describe your relationship with Mr. Cantor? And does it affect us all in Richmond that you do have somewhat of an icy relationship, at least from the way it appears to us?
You know, I don't think it's icy. Look, you know, Eric Cantor is a Republican leader in a House. We just went through 2 years in which they were interested in winning back the House. He's now in a position of responsibility, which means that you know, he's going to have to work with me, and I think that he wants to try to make progress with me. On the budget, for example, what I've said is that all of us agree we need to reduce spending. We have to do it in an intelligent way. We've got to do it in a way that doesn't you know, take away from education for our kids, allows us to continue to invest in infrastructure so businesses want to locate in Richmond or in the United States generally. And my hope is that we can come to some agreements here, because what I think the American people are looking for is not sort of tit-for-tat political arguments. They're tired of that. What they really want to see is everybody acting like adults and getting together to solve big problems. And you know, I trust that Eric Cantor's gotten that message from his voters as well.
The Health Care Reform Law Act that you passed you've been sued by, your administration has been sued by the Virginia government and our Attorney General. Both the governor of Virginia and the Attorney General have asked the federal courts to expedite that process and hear the case at the Supreme Court level. Most people believe it will be the Supreme Court that decides whether or not the health care reform law is constitutional. Do you believe that we should expedite the process and take it right to the Supreme Court so that state and local governments that have to decide how this will be applied will know what it means?
Well, keep in mind, first of all, that 12 courts that have looked at this issue just dismissed the case. They didn't think it was real. 4 courts have examined the case. 2 of them have upheld it and said this is clearly constitutional. And 2 courts, including one of the courts in Virginia, has said that one aspect of the law they think is unconstitutional. Because you've got this divergence between how the different courts are looking at it, typically what the Supreme Court does is it goes up to the appellate court. The appellate court compiles a record, they hear all the arguments, and then they send it up to the Supreme Court. There's no reason why this can't go through the normal process. In the meantime, people all across the country, including in Virginia, are already benefiting from this law. Young people who are 26 or older are able to stay on their parents' insurance right now if they don't have health insurance through their job. You've got small businesses that have gotten billions of dollars already in tax breaks so that they can afford to provide health insurance to their employees. You've got folks with pre-existing conditions who are now able to get insurance for the first time. Everybody in Virginia right now is protected from insurance companies dropping their coverage if they get sick, making sure that they don't face arbitrary lifetime limits. So there are all kinds of benefits that are already accruing and are being implemented as we speak. And I think what the Supreme Court's going to want to look at is a full record of all these issues by the time it actually looks at it. I'm confident that it will be upheld, and I'm confident that this law is going to end up doing right by the people of Virginia.
Just one last question for you, Mr. President. I'd be remiss if I didn't get this opportunity to ask you about Governor Tim Kaine. There's rumors that you're going to chat to him this week. Does he serve you better as the chairman of the DNC, or would you like his vote in the United States Senate?
Well, look, Tim Kaine is a great public servant. He's a great friend of mine. He's done a great job as governor in Virginia and a great job as the chairman of the Democratic National Committee. I want to hear what he wants to do and where he thinks he can best serve. I think he'd be a great senator from Virginia if he chose to do that. If he wants to stay as chairman of the Democratic National Committee, he's going to do a great job there. Either way, I can tell you that he's as good of a friend as he is of mine. He's less concerned about serving me. He's more concerned about serving the American people and the people of Virginia. And I think he's going to make this decision based on where can he do the most good for the most people. And I'll be interested in seeing what he decides.
It sounds similar to what you told me when you were considering him for vice president. When we talked in Lynchburg, it was right around the same time.
Well, you know, he's just he's a terrific guy, and I know he loves Virginia and he loves the people of Virginia.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you so
President.
much.
I do appreciate the time.
Appreciate you. Thank you.